righty. So to start this off, I would like to remind everyone that there is a virtual golf tournament event at the end of the webinar. If you haven't already, please download the Top Golf app so you can compete. The top 3 finishers will be winning a custom golf polo. You'll be contacted after the webinar and we will work that out. And also all attendees today will be receiving a free sleeve of Titleist Pro V1 golf balls. We'll also be in contact with you after the webinar to get those prizes to you. To sort of preface things, we're putting on this webinar with Dell Technologies. We've partnered with them to bring you this content, so thank you so much to Dell for sponsoring this webinar. And I'll let Chris take it away. We're starting off for the MicroK12 side with an E-rate presentation. You might know MicroK12 as a solutions provider, but we also have a networking team that provides E-rate and other networking services. So Chris, if you want to take it away.
Hello, everyone. Let me just get this set up. I'm just going to take a few minutes here. It's kind of part of our focus. I'm hoping this will be the first of what will be many informative and useful partnerships with Dell, and hopefully some of the information will be useful. But I want to start the webinar off with just a quick little presentation. Now is on everybody's mind is E-rate. It's coming, the cycle's here. Everybody's got a brand new budget. And so I just wanted to do a quick once over for E-rate. Let me get this working here. And why is it not? So everybody knows, I just want to cover real quickly a few basic things here. Everybody's aware of E-rate. Everybody should be using E-rate. And this is kind of an important way for schools to set up their networks and get equipment for everything. I know right now with remote learning, everybody's pretty busy, but it's something to prepare for when students come back, to prepare your network and make sure that you are ready to go when everything starts going back to whatever normal it becomes. Just a couple key points. As soon as I can get to this, just everybody should be aware of the critical dates that we have. 470 window is open now. You can start issuing your 470s. 471's window will open up sometime in mid-February. Just the basic dates of July 1st through June 30th are when all E-rate, the E-rate year runs. But the more important thing is what I want everybody to be aware of is with this new round of funding, now we're on a new 5-year plan, everybody's budget's reset. This is a time where you can plan out your roadmap for the next 5 years. What equipment do you need right now? What do you need in the future? What kind of upgrade path do you want? And this is something that I'm trying to help out everybody as much as possible. The whole engineering team, we're focused on giving you that roadmap, that way to know where you're at now with your network, what are your critical needs right now, and where do you want to go in the future. There's a lot of new technologies out there with the new wireless 802.11ax is out. Is your switching infrastructure set up for it? Where are you at with your cabling infrastructure? All of your structured cabling, there's methods that you can use to support the AX APs a lot better. Where's your firewall at? Is your firewall ready for this? I know we've had a lot of issues with people trying to utilize or filter traffic through their firewall and just discovering that it's not quite ready yet. It's a good time, and that's where, as an engineering team, we want to be able to help out. We're not gonna, the E-rate rules are pretty strict, and we want to be very careful what we do there, but we can help you with a roadmap and just where you need to be and give you a good analysis of where your network is at now. We specialize in lots of different technologies to help with this. There's a couple changes that they made last year. One specific one is the demo rules are changed. before they banned all demos entirely, you had to have them once the 470 was released, you were not allowed to have any demo products in there. Now you can try it out. They changed it because they realized that it wasn't as effective, and sometimes you need to try out something before you just decide to buy it. So the new demo rules allow you to try out a product for 2 weeks. That's enough time to get a feel for it and to understand what it is. But it's a time. What I like to tell people with that is when you do your 470s and when you do your requests, it's always a good idea to extend it out beyond just the 28 days, because 28 days is not really a lot of time. And especially now coming into the holiday season, make sure that you give everybody enough time, including yourself, to field all of the proper questions, and even demo things if you need to. Managed services is something that's becoming much more popular. They set it up as managed internal broadband. The MIBS portion of E-Rate has a lot of flexibility to it, where you can, if you just need help with certain parts of your network, that's something that can be set up to, you can set up a contract and call it managed services, managed internal broadband services, to help you with just parts of your network if you want. Most of the time it's used for full network management, but there's a lot of flexibility there. And I just want people to be aware that you don't have to use it. It's a good idea to include that in your request, just in case you want to have any decisions with that, in case you want to decide on any specific help with your network and network management. And it goes along with the BMIC. Make sure, and everybody should know this by now, make sure you're also requesting the BMIC with everything. The way that you have to file all of your 471s, there are very specific things that are filed under internal connections, specific things that are under BMIC, including support for anything, which is required in a lot of cases, and then MIBS. And so you have that flexibility to make a decision on what you want to do. And it's all E-Rate eligible. That's the basic part of it. I know I kind of went through it pretty quick here, but we don't have a ton of time. And I want to make sure Patrick has enough time to cover everything he has. Dell is a great partner for us. We're working hard to build a relationship and move into all of the entire Dell portfolio. So this is hopefully the start of it. What will be several webinars we have going over what Dell has to offer and how MicroK12 can help with that. So that's what I have. And
yeah, that's a great.
Patrick next.
Appreciate. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the good words, and we're happy as well to partner with MicroK12. So let me share my screen here. Most of the times we love to do this as well in person. Crazy times right now, but as soon as we can get to travel again, we'd love to do this in person. But you know, it is what it is in a virtual way. So if you practice golf this morning, well, you know, hopefully we do well today. But yeah, so my name is Patrick Langlois. I'm the channel system engineer at Dell Technology. I cover data center, so server, storage, networking, and solution. And really today, our goal is to talk about Dell Technologies' storage vision, and we'll focus more into the PowerStore, but keep in mind, as you can see from the center of the screen, there's way much more to it. So we'll give you a quick overview of the portfolio and the products as well as our vision, right? So as you can see, everything is lining up to the power realm. So from the entry to the mid-range to the high end, as well to unstructured. Think about also of software defined, right? On this screen, you might not see hyperconverged, but these are all solutions that we work with our customers, but really to enable them to everything that you see around the sphere here, around making sure we can have cloud-like, simple, rich insights, or having the cloud and edge type of perspective. But basically, in a nutshell, we're modernizing and making sure we can be responsive to somewhat the self-automized or self-autonomous type of same thing as vehicles, right? We drive and you know, hopefully not need to understand too much of what the underlying platform is, but really to consume it. So we'll talk to you today about mostly the PowerStore piece of the equation, but always glad to talk to you about any of our solutions from the entry to the high-end piece of the equation. So today, let's focus on PowerStore, and really what this is a totally ground-up innovation from Dell Technologies or Dell EMC. And this is meant to provide customers with a data-centric, intelligent, adaptable infrastructure, really that supports traditional and modern workloads as well. So I'll go more into details about what the data-centric piece does and really how it optimizes system performance, scalability, and workloads without any compromises. The intelligent piece to it is, as I mentioned, the self-driving piece. You don't need to really understand or need to mess around with firmwares, but this is meant to drive an autonomous infrastructure type with simplified management. And this is pretty interesting when you start looking at the consumption side of the house, the ease of monitoring. And I'll show you the interface so you can understand exactly how simple it gets. And using all our adaptable piece to it is really innovating in speed, applications, and making sure that you have a choice and predictable outcomes. And that's really what we're working on. PowerStore is a really unique offering in the market, and I can tell you it's been built ground up and differentiated. Nobody does something similar to this. So I'm going to expand this so it's fully driven and show you what we're really working on from a customer approach, right? So as I mentioned, traditional workloads and modern workloads on the same unit. So think about any type of relational databases or ERPs or EMRs, anything that is built as well with cloud native applications or file-based workloads can all be driven from the same storage array, which is pretty unique, because most of the times when we're looking at these, in the past, we used to have a certain type of array for different workloads. Now we can combine pretty much everything that you see here on one of the array, which is PowerStore in this case. So really what that means for you as a customer is, think of it as block, file, virtual volumes, utilizes all the latest technologies and in a modern type of approach, where this has been built on a container type of operating system. And that is really unique. And I'll go more into details around this. But really what we're offering to the table is, as you can see, active-active is really differentiating. Instead of having just an array that has an active-passive type of approach, this is really designed for high availability. And as you can see on the slide, they're showing up to 6 nines, but we're really assuring that the workloads are always available and have that continuous data access that customers are looking for. So enterprise class storage is something that you'll see within the array to provide that. So to give you an idea, a high level from a dual active or dual node architecture, within a 2U array, we have 2 nodes, and they provide identical redundancy for both, right? So that's why we're leveraging active-active type of approach. But at the same time, we're looking at non-disruptive array-to-array transfer. So what that means is, if you're looking for, previous arrays, we can ingest or migrate to a PowerStore really easily. So that makes it really interesting. The last piece of it as well is when we're looking at code upgrade, and there's no need to have any issues from a upgrade perspective, because this is meant to scale up and scale out. And I'll show you more into details what we're looking at. So this is a view of, I consider this the ice cream truck of flavors of ice cream, if we're looking at this. But really the type of nodes and their offering from a capacity perspective. And looking at this from a 2U perspective, we can offer up to 1 petabyte of storage capacity within the unit itself. So that's just giving you an idea of how we can do this and how we can scale up by adding drives or by adding actually additional nodes to the array. So significant amount of capacity. And technologies that we're looking at is we're looking at NVMe as well as storage class memory within the array itself. So all flash design, so performance is not an issue. Connectivity, not go too much into the weeds, but we can go into the realm of having 25 gig interface, 10 gig, or having the choice of either fiber channel in this case. So this is a view of the front and with the bezel off, but this is PowerStore is really designed from ground up to use the latest in technology, in the storage technology, if I can say. And really what we're doing here is just to maximize application performance and eliminating any bottleneck whatsoever. So as you can see from the unit itself, to attain the 1 petabyte within the 2U, we would be using the 15 terabyte drives. But at the same time, if you wanted to start slow and grow as you wish, we would start with 6 drives within the enclosure itself. And then, as demand grows, you can definitely add more drives to it. But if you look at the right side of the array, we see the storage class memory drive. And this is really designed for upgrades and performance as well. So these are reserved slots for this capability. And I'll speak more to details on what this entails. All right. So looking at scale up and scale out, I did tell you that, we can have a flexible environment, start small and grow as the business grows. But again, this is defining really the performance and applications of what we're running. If we're running high-end database with Oracle, or if we're set upon rich data services or some VMware, or we're simply starting with a low-entry scalable solution. PowerStore really can offer that to you. And I'll show you 2 types of technologies. You have the PowerStore T, which is defined for traditional, and PowerStore X, which comes with apps on, which I'll describe in a few minutes. And that is really, completely differentiated from the competition out there. So, if you were doing quick math and trying to say, like, Pat told me, like, with 15 terabyte drives and an enclosure that has 21 drives reserved for capacity, how do you come up with 1 terabyte or 1 petabyte? This is unique on the market, and how we do this is online or always on inline data reduction. And with our future proof, this is unique on the market compared to any offerings out there. So with the maturation of flash storage, and that really resulted in a significant price per gigabyte reductions for end users. This is why this couldn't be a better time for coming out with PowerStore. And really what that means is the system has hardware acceleration features, and I'll talk quickly about Intel Quick Assist technology that provides this deduplication and compression. And that's we're going right off the market, straight out to the market with a 4-to-1 data reduction guaranteed, depending on what files, right, we're looking at. And as you can see, it can definitely do way much more, right? Showing up to 20-to-1, if depending again on what type of data we're looking at. So this is pretty interesting when you're looking at technology of, running into autonomous type of application or appliance. We built in machine learning within the array to really make sure we place data at the right places. Let me unfold this. As you grow your environment, the environment self-learns your capabilities or how your usage is, and it will move data as it seems best to be more optimized and more efficient. And that is pretty unique, right? So features around machine learning right off the platform, pretty interesting when it gets to that type of array itself. So as I told you, this has been built from ground up. And really what we're doing here is we built PowerStore to use a container-based software architecture. And really, this is driven by the PowerStore OS. I'll show you a bit more into this, but again, nothing alike in the market. And that is pretty differentiated. So what we're looking at as well is, making sure that our DevOps folks or people, that have the automated functionalities or the APIs to be able to integrate within their current environment. So VMware or Kubernetes or Ansible, and really plug into the array to take full advantage of the automation. Maybe one that you're familiar with very easily is, vRealize operations. And it would have the CSI plugins or CSI drivers or the VROps plugin to really plug into the array and set functionality that would in the past take days to do and now come down to seconds. So apps on, this is pretty cool. As a techie like me, I always said that servers and storage would come to one at one day of the day. This is as close as it gets. What apps on delivery promises is you can run VMware virtual machines straight off the array itself. So it has a VMware ESX built into the array where you can run data-intensive workloads straight off bare metal on the box. So that is pretty cool. Nobody else does that. But then again, when you're looking at the story around edge to core to cloud, this is really where we're actually innovating. And obviously PowerStore can be deployed in the data center, but it can actually tie into, let's not go forward with this. I thought it was an animation, but this can definitely tie into your existing VMware environment. This can tie into a Hyper-V workload or any others, but at the end of the day, this can be seamless as you're building your customer journey, having workloads into the cloud and so on. So, this really makes it interesting for innovation when we're looking at, moving as a hybrid or multi-cloud approach to really moving workloads and keeping consistency between the operations, right? So if VMware, if operations to that, nothing changes, but you're actually taking full advantage of the intelligence behind it. Moving on to the anytime upgrade. Again, this is no longer forklift upgrades, right? We're looking at adding capacity, moving data in place, and really, moving from a generation to the other by adding those and moving data. And this really is interesting as, a cost perspective because it's flexible upgrades anytime within the contract, and there's no renewal required to do this. So, within a generation, if you're looking at starting with a 1,000 and moving on to 3,000, nothing stops you from doing that. All right. So I know we went pretty quickly into the details, and I'd love to come back and speak to you more about it. But I think when you see it in action, you'll see the capabilities of the solution. And I'll show you the interface, and you'll see how easy and simple it is within the 5 last minutes that we have, and give you an idea of what the outcomes are. Obviously, storage is key, but there's nothing stopping you from as well looking at the server and modernizing your applications with servers. So towers, racks, modular, this is all we have, and we're number one in that space. So we definitely love to understand your environment and really take the best suggestion within what we see and how we can optimize it. How we can do this, last but not least, Live Optics is a key. This is a free assessment lab that we can work with MicroK12 to do within your environments, collect data around the infrastructure, from servers to cloud, to workloads, to storage, and really even at the end of the day, data protection, as well as files, and really understand how your environment is and optimize it if there is a need. We did talk about cloud. What if I could tell you what a workload would cost to run in the cloud, right? So that gets interesting. But hey, this is something that we'd love to, work with you moving forward. And we have all the capabilities to do this. Look at your environment and take the best actions, required if we're looking at a 3-tier architecture or hyperconverged. These are all key assets that we have to really understand your environment and take the best advice from what we see. So last piece here, I'm going to spend a minute or two before handing it off to Seb, who's going to talk about Topgolf. But I thought I would make justice. This is real. This is an environment that we have that we can show you exactly what PowerStore looks like within the interface. And this is what I love about the technology, the platform. Everything is one single pane of glass. Everything that you need to see that we talked about, right? If we're looking at block storage or file storage, I can see this within the interface and really drive down into it and see what's going on. If my workloads are performing as they should, I can see the usage, I can see what's happening and really pinpoint to a specific time in the day and really take action if there is. Looking back at capacity, performance, and any alerts and what to do to resolve them, to me, is really unique. The last thing I'm going to share with you, and again, we can definitely revisit that with you take our time to walk you through these, but how about if I can look at my array and really determine exactly what's happening on it, what is the usage, what is my data savings? I told you about the capacity and the ratios of data reduction, but what if I can go onto the hardware and really see the array in action? I can look at the front end and see what the drive is, what is happening around the drive itself. But what if I can just have interaction with the unit itself, right? If I'm looking at connectivity, how healthy it is, if something is going wrong or whatsoever, I have the ability to click on any of these and really take action. But one pane of glass, and I can actually take full visibility on, the array itself. And that, to me, as I've been on the flip side of the gate where I had to administer storage, and this is getting very simple to that degree. So as much as I can see the internals, I can see the rear of the array or the drives, I can see exactly the fan modules, or if I need to add anything from a memory consumption to the array, I can see what's happening, see what, how it's performing, and really take action if need be. So this is where I'll stop, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll look at the queue if there's any questions, but really happy to work with you and work with the MicroK12 to really understand your environment, be the trusted advisor and really make sure we understand your environment to take the best and optimal decision within your data center. So I hope this was helpful for you and looking forward to work with you. All right. I'll stop my share at the moment. I'll look at if there is any questions. Question here coming from Tyler around the product can use to back up our online. Absolutely. I mean, there could be repositories for backups. Down the road, we're looking at replication as a future. So we can use the array as a backup array and have components to that, and you can migrate them or extend those to public cloud or different sites as well. So yes, to answer your question, Tyler, you can. Is there any other questions? What we'll do as well as for all the attendees, we'll send you the presentation, we'll send you the recording as well as a few links as well if you want to read more into the capabilities of PowerStore. But I'll stay around if there's any questions while we hit some clubs. I'll be glad to answer them, but really appreciate your time and wishing you happy holidays coming up soon. Seb, are you with us? I know.
I am indeed. I am.
There you go.
Good. I say good evening, but actually it's not good evening where you guys are. It's good evening where I am here, just north of London. Very happy to be on with you guys. We're gonna have some fun now, playing some WGT. Hopefully everybody has got their WGT apps all loaded up. I'm about to share my screen with you guys, and I will walk you through how we're going to get set up. What we're going to do is we're going to just quickly go out and play one hole where you can just watch me. Now, some of you in the group may have played the game before, which is great. Some of you may be brand new beginners. So if you have played the game before, go ahead, feel free to have a little practice, warm those fingers up, get yourself, we are playing for some big prizes here, some branded polos, but everybody that takes part is going to receive a nice sleeve of golf balls, as mentioned. So that's really, really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys now so you can see what I'm seeing. Just let me know if anybody else there from the team can just let me know, make sure that screen is being shared, okay? And
yep, you
can see my little character there. Okay, so first, there is a way. Also, what this will do is give anyone a chance who hasn't done so thus far. You should have some information on your email how to download this game. The greatest thing about WGT is you can play pretty much anywhere. You can play on your mobile, you can play on your desktop, on your Mac. You can even play via a web browser, but the absolute best experience is through the downloadable app on a desktop or a Mac. That's what I play on, and that's what you're looking at right now. So we're going to go ahead and play one hole, and then we're going to enter this competition. And what we're going to play here is really simple. It's 9 holes, but it's actually even shorter than that. It's actually 9 holes of closest to the hole at Pebble Beach, where we're basically going to hit 9 shots on 9 different holes at Pebble Beach, one of the most iconic and picturesque golf courses in the world. And you're just going to get a score based on how close to the flag you can hit it on each one. We'll come on to that more later. For now, I'm going to do a really quick tutorial of how you play the game. So I'm going to go ahead and play now. And I'm going to select, in fact, I'll do even easier. I'll go play game modes. And you guys can do this because what I would say is now you've got your own account set up. You can use this game. You can invite your friends. You can play little line holes against anyone online or against any of your colleagues. Lots of fun. So lots of use, not just for today's session. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick single player stroke play. I'll just quickly select Wolf Creek, one of the other really iconic golf courses here, and I'm going to click practice. Don't worry about copying what I'm doing on screen right now. I'm just setting this up to show you how the game works, and then we'll do a little bit of a walkthrough as we do the competition. So here is the main screen. As you can see, I'm looking at another monitor here, so you have to excuse me while I look to the side. You've got a lot of information. Top left-hand corner, you've got the information about the hole. It's a 487-yard par 5. We've got the wind is at our back and about 13 to 15 miles per hour. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see your club selection. Obviously on the tee, I currently have my TaylorMade driver selected. And then out on the fairway, you can see where I'm aiming. If you click and hold that with your mouse, or if you're playing on your phone with your finger, you can change where you're aiming. One of the things I like to do before I aim is I'll click on this little camera icon in the bottom left-hand corner. And that will take me to a more zoomed-in view of my landing area, whether that be the fairway or on the green or whatever. Now, the first thing I can note here is my driver's currently aimed 298 yards, which is fine. My driver only goes 283. You won't go that far, but that's fine. But it's down 84 feet, and that obviously means the ball will go a lot further. Plus, the wind, as we noted earlier, is behind us. This one's going to go a lot further than the numbers will say. Could even get close to that path. So what I'm going to do here, I'm expecting this one. If my driver goes 283, we're around about there, but it's significantly downhill, that might go as far as there. With the wind, that might blow to there. This could hit the path. So I'm going to aim a little to the left. Before I hit this shot and show you how to do that, the last thing you have to factor in before you hit a shot is the lie and where on the ball you want to make contact. So normally you're in the rough or you're on the fairway. If you're in the rough, you'll have a percentage of rough, which basically is how bad your lie is. You might need to make an allowance for that. But on the tee, obviously it's perfect, so you won't see that here. Now this little green dot, you can see me moving top and bottom. That's where on the ball I want to hit. Well, I want to hit this one high with a lot of spin, so it hits the ground and lands soft. I don't want it to hit and bowl through and roll through and risk going into any of those bunkers. So I'm going to aim all the way at the bottom, and now I'm ready to hit my shot. So how you do that is super simple. You can see this swing bar here. You either click and hold down on that and move your mouse or your finger on your D-pad up, or I like to actually do it over here on this power bar. So if I want to hit a full power shot, I click, I push my mouse up. You can see the power bar filling all the way now. That would be 100% full. That would be 90, 80, etc., etc., etc. That would be 50% power. So you can sometimes play around with the power types based on what club you're using. This is a driver. We want to grip it and rip it. Full power up to the top. I've still got my finger in here. I'm going to let my finger go in a minute. When I do, that power bar will move all the way back down towards that blue area in here. In the middle of it, this white line is the sweet spot. I then want to click it again when the power bar is as close as possible to that sweet spot. If I miss it to the left, the shot's going to go left. If I miss it to the right, the shot's going to go to the right. The more I miss it by, the more wide it will go and the more power it will take off the shot. Nice and simple. Here we go. All the way, top power, let go. Can I time it quite well? On its way back down, click. Now I've moved that a bit to the right. I've missed it right. The ball will go a little further right than I intended, but it's still not too bad. As you can see, the wind's moved it a little that way. It did indeed get all the way to the path, and look at that. A 410-yard drive. I mean, you wouldn't think 5'7" of me, 10 stone, I don't know what that is in pounds, in metric, I'm afraid, but an absolutely monster drive. And that is basically, in the shortest way, how you play the game. There's a lot more to it. There's obviously putting on the green. There's another different skill to it, playing out of the rough. But that's a rough idea. I think that should be enough to get us started. So anyone that's come into here, I'll show you how you get out of it. You just go, click on the 3 dots, end round, and we are now going to go into our tournament lobby. So the first thing I'll do is show you how to register for our tournament, which is very simple. You go ahead and click game modes. You click on tournaments in the middle there. I'll just go back and show anyone that didn't see that. Main home screen here, game modes, solo tournaments, and then you will click on tournaments in the top. And just wait for that to load up, give it 1 or 2 seconds. And then you're going to go ahead and enter a tournament code that I'll give you in just 1 minute. So you can see now we've got the option of, there's always loads of events going on in the WGT, loads of stuff happening. We're going to go and click on My Tournaments on the top right-hand side. And then you're going to click that big green bar at the top, enter new tournament code. Now, hopefully one of my colleagues will put this code in the chat for anyone who's slightly behind, but the code is MK12. Really simple. You should all remember that. And you go ahead and click confirm, which will take you through to the tournament lobby. And then naturally, you're going to click sign up. And then right down there, totally free to enter tournament. And then we're in. So I'll give everyone a few seconds to get caught up with that, but do not worry. There is no time limit on this tournament. It should take about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to play it and talk you through every single one of my shots so you can maybe take some tips from me. I'm not an expert, but I'm a very frequent player. I'm what you would call an intermediate, an advanced intermediate. I'll give myself that, advanced intermediate, if I can be so humble. So, yeah, I'm better than a beginner, but I'm not the elite level. I'm one of the presenters in the broadcast team for the European Tour's E-Tour, where I'm one of the presenters for the show where the professionals play this for big money in a big global tour that we have. But I'm just the guy in all of them when they play. But I've picked up some tips from them. Anyway, we're going to click play now, and we're going to load up the game. And we will go to one of the holes at the beautiful Pebble Beach. So as I said, I will now talk you through each hole. If you are already confident, if you're already a gaming wizard, if you're already a pro on WGT, feel free to play at your own leisure, at your own pace. There will be a leaderboard at the end where we will be finding out who's going to be winning those top 3 prizes. But equally, you can follow at my pace. So here we are. We're put on the fairway of the first hole at Pebble Beach, 136 yards from the flag. We're just playing 8 feet uphill, as you can see here. And the wind is blowing into us and off the left, 6 to 8 miles an hour. So as I said, first thing I do, I click my camera icon down here and I get a bit of a better view. So I've first of all got to allow for the fact. Here's the tip, closest to the hole. The way the scoring works, every foot from the flag that you land is a point. Just like real golf, you want the lowest amount of points possible. If you miss the flag by 10 feet, that's a score of 10, which would be really good. If you miss it by 50 feet, the score will be 50. The lowest score will win. But my top tip, don't worry about getting too close to the flag. It's most important to just hit the green, because If you miss the green, there are penalty points. If you miss the green and go in a bunker or in the rough, you will actually get an additional penalty bonus onto your score. It's actually better to be on the green, further from the hole, than it is to be in the bunker right next to the hole. So that's my top tip. So with that in mind, let's think about where we're going to aim here. So I want to really aim for the big wide part of the green around here. If it rolls up to the flag, so be it. So I'm uphill 7 feet, so I might allow for maybe a little bit, I'll aim a bit further up. And then I've got the wind off me and to the left, only 6 to 8 miles an hour. I might aim over here. So now I've got an adjusted yardage I want to try and hit, which is 134. My club, I've got selected right now as a 7 iron, goes 150. Let's see what the 8 iron does. Oh, look at that. 135, almost bang on. We can go ahead and hit that almost full pelt. So I'll go and add now. I'm going to move this yellow dot I told you about before all the way to the bottom, because I want this to hit the green and stop. I'm not worried about spinning off. So there we go. It's a full shot, no science needed, full power, let go, try and time it. Now I've missed that a bit to the left, but because of the wind, that's better than missing it to the right. So that should be nicely into the heart of the green. There we go. Nothing crazy there. No heartbeat moment, as they call in the game. If you hit one really close, the screen starts flashing white, the heartbeat sounds on the computer, and that's when you know you've hit a really good one. No heartbeat, but not too bad. Okay, second shot is on what I think is the 6th hole, our second, of course, par 5, second shot, and you can see we're hitting big up over a cliff. Pacific Ocean to our right. When you go ahead and click on this camera icon, you can see this one's playing big up. This green tends to really roll away from you, so I like to go to the right here to allow for that one. And then up 38 feet. So that's probably, I want this to land about here. So therefore, I want the adjusted landing area to maybe be about here. So I've got 208 yards, 3 irons about 210. I quite like that. I'll add the spin on again, move the green dot down so it lands and hits softly. And I'll just go ahead and hit this full power, see if I can actually time one quite well. On its way. Not too bad. Now, I usually use the D-pad on my Mac. Today, I'm actually using a mouse, which is my excuse why I'm getting a few of these shots a little bit off the middle. But we're doing all right. On the green is fine. Sit down now, sit down, sit down. Oh, no, look at that. Just rolled off the back of the green in the rough, so I'll be getting a penalty score for that. I was 50 feet from it, but I'm getting a penalty score of 20. See, I missed the green by an inch. I got 20 feet penalty. Not good. Not good at all. I'm on 100 already. And I'll tell you now, if anyone gets, as a first timer, under 400 as a score, you're going to be right up there. It's my prediction. It's going to be right up there. All right, next hole, which is the 7th. A glorious, glorious short par 3. So first things first, we've got to allow for the fact this plays a lot downhill to about there. But then we can see it's into the wind. So we'll take a bit more back off that with the wind. So I think we're around about 105 yards. What's my pitching wedge? 105. Look at that. Perfect. We'll add a bit of spin, and we'll go ahead and hit that one full pelt. Come on then, can I time one well? That's not bad. That's better. I thought that might have had a heartbeat. It hasn't, but hopefully it's going to be close-ish. Yeah, we'll take that. That's not bad. 12 feet. That's more like it. Pleased with that one. Okay, on to the next one. Now we've got a little chip and run type shot, it seems here. Now I like to play these as pitch shots around the green. So let's see. It's 22 yards. I've clicked on that. Now I can see how the green is sloping slightly from right to left as we look, or left to right as my golfer looks. So I'll aim a little bit to the left to allow for that. 22 feet. Now down here you can see I'm slightly in the rough. So the first cut rough, 25 to 30% lie. It means it's going to come out a bit softer. Sorry, it's going to come out with a bit less power on it. So I need to allow for more power to counteract that. And it will roll a bit more. So I'll put a bit of spin on this. And I'll need to land this. It says 22 yards. This is a 30-yard club with sandwich. Lob wedge is 25. I might just about. Now I'm going to hit the 31, the sand wedge. And I'm going to hit this one, I think about 85%, which would be about there. Let's see where that comes out for me. On its way, roll out towards the flag. Off you go, off you go. Sit down now, sit down. A little too much, but not bad. I'd give myself 7 out of 10 for that. I think you guys can do better on that one. Okay, 4 holes down, 3 greens hit. Not bad. It's okay. Oh, this looks tricky. We're in the fairway here. Let's have a look where the flag is. Really tough position. As I said before, guys, just get it on the green. You'll be doing a good job. Up 20 feet. Now, where do I want this to land? I don't want to aim too much at the flag, in case I risk hitting these bunkers. Biggest part of the green is probably around about here. So up 20 feet, I need to allow for a bit there. But then downwind, let's take a bit back off it again. around about 134, which again is my 8 iron. So I'm quite happy with that. I'll bring the green dot all the way down to the bottom, and I'll pretty much hit it full power. Can I time one of these well? Come on, Seb. Oh, that was close. That was nearly timed really well. Come on, get over the bunker. Get over the bunker. And now sit down, sit down. I'm very pleased with that. That's not an easy green to hit. I'm very pleased with that one. That's a bit better now. We're rocking and rolling. Now, this is one I always struggle with. Out of the rough, 40-yard shot, big sloping green. You can see all running off to the right, so I want to aim that to the left. I want to aim this one out here, but it's out of the rough. Full lob wedge is 80 yards. It's halfway would be 40, and that would be a bit too far. But then you've got this rough lie. I think I'm going to go about, I'm going to go around 50, 60%, I think, here. Hopefully this gets it. I'm worried about this one. Oh, no, I hit it really badly. Bounce left. Bounce left. It did. Now sit down. Oh, that's worked out fantastic. That's a really tricky one. A lot of calculation to do there. I'm quite pleased with that. 13 feet. Not a bad score at all. Right, guys, let me know in the comments or in the chat section if anyone's having anyone's having a tough time with it and you want any tips. I'm going to quickly check in the Q&A, see if everyone's okay. If anyone needs anything, give you guys time to catch up if you wish to. Right, okay. Hole 7. Now this one looks like one we could do a good one on, guys, because there's not a lot of wind. The pin is fairly central to the green. We've got some chances here. We'll allow for the wind a little bit. We want to land a bit short, let it roll up, but it's then down 25 feet. So that's maybe even as short as off the green. So that's what, 160-ish. Certainly not a 4 iron. What's a 6 iron? 165, 7 iron, 150. I would say this is a 6 iron with a lot of spin added to it, moving that green dot down, and then maybe take a tiny bit of power off it. Maybe something like there. Let's have a look. Come on, Seb. Time it well. Not bad. That's not bad. Can it roll out up towards the flag? Yeah, well, that's not bad at all. On the green again. Safety first. Slow and steady wins the race, they say. We're approaching the final 2 holes now. Oh, look at this one. This is a really good one to test our short games. Short game, probably the area where any golfers in real life, especially beginner type golfers or intermediate golfers, can improve the quickest amount with the short game. We all get into golf. We go to the driving range. We smash the driver. We wonder why we're not getting any better. You don't hit that many shots off a tee in real golf. You shoot 100, you only hit 18 off a tee. It's like less than 20%. So you really need to be focusing on these short shots, and WGT is no different. Now, what I like to do for these short shots, especially when you can clearly see this is below our feet, so when it hits that green, it's going to really roll away. I like to get the ball as high as possible. So I'm going to change from a pitch shot to a flop shot here. I've got a 28-yard lob wedge. I want this to land around about here and then roll to the flag. But I've got to remember my lie. I'm in the rough. So I'm going to put a bit of spin on it. And I need to get this one. Well, how far is that? It's about 11 yards. So I'd say 11 yards, we'll need to go a bit more, maybe 15 because of the rough. So 28, so it's around about halfway. So let's try that around about halfway and see how we get on. Maybe a bit further. Just to make sure. Oh, look at it, heartbeat. There's that heartbeat moment. Means it's gone fairly close. That's not bad. Can I sneak this under 200, which would be a really strong score? Now I've got 12 feet to play with on the last hole. Wow, this is going to be tough. This is the 18th hole at Pebble Beach, our 9th and final hole. One of the most famous finishing holes in all of golf. We've hit the amazing drive, it looks like. We're in the fairway. We've now got 230 yards to the flag, trying to set up an eagle putt. Right, let's have a look at it. Okay. Downwind, which doesn't actually help here. We need to land this one around about here to allow it to have room to roll up towards the flag. We're going to get it inside 12 feet. So if we need to land it there, that's 218 yards. It's downwind as much as 16 to 20 miles an hour. That's probably wind adjusted somewhere like there, at 200. Need to add a little bit of spin on it. 200 yards, what's that? What's my 3 hybrid? 220. 3 irons, 210. I'm going to go with the 195. I'm going to go with the 3 iron here. 210 yards. I don't want to risk leaving it short and leaving it in that bunker. I want to at least get it on the green at some point and put more spin on it. And 210 yards, so 10% off that would be about 190. There's about 5% off it, which would be about there. Now I'm going to allow for the fact, this is a little tip, that I'm probably going to miss hit it because I haven't really timed a single one perfectly. So I'll add a little bit more to allow for the fact that I'll probably miss-hit it. And then let's do your best. Let's let it go. Come on, Seb, click it well. Oh, look at that. It's got a chance. It's going a bit to the right for some reason. Go left. Go left. Bounce over the bunker. Bounce over it. Disaster. Disaster strikes on the final hole. We're doing so well. Look at that final score. 109 as a penalty points. I've let my country down. I've let you all down. 297. I do sneak under 300. I'll take it. I'll take it. With the mouse, I'll take it. Let's find out and click continue and see how you guys are getting on. Ready to click leaderboard. Wow, there's some great scores out there. That is very good. Patrick, fantastic. Beat me, brilliant, well done. Joel, 300 is fantastic. 309 is brilliant. All these 400, that's very good as well. As I said, anything under 400 is really good for a first attempt or first couple of goes. And then all these guys have done really well as well. It's a very, very tough game to get the hang with. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Now, we will give it a few more minutes. Obviously, I'm taking off that leaderboard. So current first place, we have Patrick, Joel, and not Chris Brown. And a bit more time for anyone to catch up. Everyone who takes part will be getting that sleeve of golf balls. And the top 3 will be getting those lovely polos. So before I hand it back to the guys, let me know if there's any questions in the chat. As I said, you can use this account you've now got, WGT, as much as you like. You can upgrade your characters, buy new golf clubs, balls, new clothing, play some of the best golf courses all around the world, have so much fun with it. So guys, thanks very much. Hopefully I will see you all again very soon. Patrick says, I really hit it like Happy Gilmore. Well, how did I hit number 1? I don't know. You did great. I think you did brilliant. Well done, Patrick.
Practice makes perfect, yeah? That's awesome.
There you go.
These techies, I tell you.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you, Seb, for doing this. This is great.
Pleasure.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna wrap up the webinar here at noon. But as Seb said, the tournament is open until 1 p.m. So you guys all have a chance to finish up and get a chance to win those polos. So thank you guys so much. Feel free to hang out with us until then. But I hope you guys all have a great day.